Hey there, today I want to go over something that is very important, that is hyper critical to the success and the health of your personal injury law firm. And actually, it's not one thing, it's three things. And it's the three fatal mistakes that personal injury law firms make when it comes to client acquisition. Now, if you're not a personal injury law firm, don't worry, this can still apply to your business. But I'm going to talk from the perspective of a personal injury law firm, and it happens to be particularly important for personal injury law firms, as I'll get into a little bit later. But first of all, how do you know if you're making these mistakes? Now, I don't have to get into what these mistakes are to tell you how you know. All I have to ask you is, can you sleep at night? Are you constantly worrying about where your next client is coming from? Are you thinking about why your marketing efforts aren't as effective as they should be, or why your competitors seem to be getting clients left and right and you're really struggling getting clients? If that's what you're thinking, if you resonate with that, then you may be making one of these three fatal mistakes. But don't worry, because today I'm going to go over what these three fatal mistakes are and how to remedy them if you are making them. My name is Matthew McNabb with Angel Seed Business Development, and we work with personal injury law firms as well as other businesses in different industries. And this is what we found to be the three biggest mistakes that personal injury law firms make when it comes to client acquisition. Now, the first is not having a plan. Now, that seems kind of obvious. It seems almost simplistic that not having a plan is going to be counterproductive to meeting your goals. But to be honest, the problem is not just not having a plan, it's believing that you have a plan when really you don't. Now, the mistake that many personal injury law firm owners and attorneys make is believing that they have a plan, believing that they know how to market for their firm when really they don't. Maybe they have an attorney friend that says, yeah, I've been paying for someone to optimize my Google business profile and it's been working great. I've been getting a lot of clients. Or maybe another attorney friend says, I've been running meta ads and Facebook ads, and that seems to be working really great. Or maybe you even read online that you need to be doing search engine optimization. But the problem is that you actually don't know what's going to work best for your law firm, because there's certain things that maybe they have in place that you don't, and maybe they don't really even understand that they have these things in place that you don't. So your peers may tell you, oh yeah, this has really worked for me, but it might not work for you because you don't have these other things in place. Now, this may be a little humbling, but you are not a marketing expert, and so you probably don't really know why certain things work and why they don't, what things need to be in place in order for them to work, and what things definitely need to be removed in order for those strategies to work. So when I say that not having a plan is the first of the three fatal mistakes, what really I mean is believing you have a plan, believing that you know what you need when really you don't. But this can be very easily remedied if you hire someone or speak to someone who is an expert, because then they can go into your business, they can figure out what kind of business you have, how big you are. They can talk about your location, your target audience. They can understand your business in a really detailed, granular way, and then they can diagnose the problems, and then they can build a plan for you. Now, that's the first fatal mistake. And the second fatal mistake is a little bit more specific, but it's simply not leveraging or knowing how to leverage client outcomes and case studies. Now, many personal injury law firms, they put testimonials, they put quotes from past clients, they put reviews on their website, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about numbers. I'm talking about settlement amounts, number of cases won. Those are really the metrics that people care about. People want to see that you've won a certain number of cases, hundreds of cases last year, that you've won this much in settlement amounts for your clients, because those numbers help build trust with your target audience. If they feel like you're successful, they're going to be more likely to want to partner with you and choose you rather than somebody else. Now, the third fatal mistake that I see personal injury law firms make when it comes to client acquisition is not taking their branding seriously. Now, when I say brand, what do I mean by that? Because I don't just mean a logo, I don't just mean an image or a design. What I mean is how you're perceived by your target audience. And what the big time law firms, the law firms that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars per month on advertising do is that they build their brand. They're building and buying familiarity with their target audience. They know the importance of building familiarity because familiarity builds trust. And when people trust you, they're going to be more likely to go with you. Also, in the personal injury and accident space in that industry, It's incredibly important that people know you and that they trust you. If they just search Google and they find you on Google, you're going to blend in with everybody else if you don't offer something unique to them. And what is that thing that's unique to them? That thing that's unique is your branding. It's the familiarity. It's the trust that you've already built. And so personal injury law firms, they know that, hey, I'm going to pay for this billboard or these 100 billboards, in the city, not because I think I'm going to get clients right now, but because if people see this year after year after year, I'm going to be the only one that they're going to choose because they're familiar with me. So personal injury law firms that take this seriously, they're the ones that really win out because they take the time to build their brand, and that builds familiarity and trust with their target audience. Because it might not be this year or next year that someone gives you a call, but guess what? At some point, someone is. Someone's going to need you, and if they're familiar with you, then they're going to want to call you. Okay? So taking branding seriously is one of the most important things, and not taking it seriously is probably the most fatal mistake that you can make. And this kind of goes back to number one of not having a plan. Because if you don't build your brand first, that's going to make your marketing efforts a lot less effective. Now, we at Angel City, we have a 3-phase approach that we call the ACT system that we use for almost all of our clients. And in the first phase, we actually build the brand. So let me show you what that 3-phase approach is. This is what's called our ACT system. And I'll move my picture over here for a second. But this is our ACT system. And it starts with the foundation. Before we even market for our clients, we have to build the foundation. We have to build the branding. Now, for different industries, that's going to look different. For personal injury law firms, the foundation phase is the most important phase. So if your marketing seems to be getting lackluster results, inconsistent results, it's probably because you haven't spent the time in this phase, building your foundation, building your brand, so that people can familiarize themselves with you. Now, building your brand is not just about people being familiar with you. It's also as people perceiving you as experienced and as the expert in your field. So not only what we do for our clients is run campaigns that familiarize their audience with them, we also run campaigns that position them as the experts in their field. Establishing what we call leverageable assets in phase 1 is going to position you to have a much more effective campaign in phase 2. Because in phase 2, we actually start marketing for our clients. So phase 1 is about building that brand. Phase 2 is about utilizing and leveraging that brand and that image in order to start gaining clients. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't gain clients for our clients in phase 1, but what it does mean is that we're really going to push leveraging those assets that we've built, the branding assets in phase 1, in phase 2. So phase 2, things like meta ads, Facebook ads, SEO, Google Business Profile Optimization, Google PPC ads, those kinds of campaigns are going to be so much more effective because we spent the time to build our client's brand in phase 1. And then phase 3 is scale and analysis. This is where we review the campaigns from phase 2 and we make adjustments along the way. But this is our 3-phase approach, and it's very simple, but it is incredibly effective. So there is a way that you can avoid those 3 common and fatal mistakes that I mentioned earlier. But it's essential that you have a plan, and it's essential that you take your branding seriously so that your marketing can be so much more effective. Now, if you want to talk to us about building your brand, if you want to talk to us about marketing, ask us anything, you can feel free to reach out to me, Matthew, with 2 T's, at angelcitybusiness.com, or there will probably be a link somewhere around this video that you can book and schedule a call with us. So I hope that you found this valuable and that you now know how to not make these common and fatal mistakes.